All ladies, our pride.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Our Ladies, Our Pride. My name is Amaka here. On today's edition, I have a very special guest. She is a rights activist and the founder of Agape Birthright Foundation. And the reason why she's here is because we're talking about something very important, mentoring. How can we mentor our young girls as mothers, as women in the society? She's no other person than Annkio Briggs. Hello, Ma.
Hi.
How are you doing, Ma?
I'm very well, and you?
It's nice to have you on our side today.
It's nice to be invited.
We're talking about mentoring. What's the first stage in life for one to mentor another?
Wow. I think mentoring can start at any time. Mentoring starts when you have something to offer. Sure. Even if it's just an advice, a caution, a support, an act of love, an act of friendship, caring. You know, so mentoring starts at a very young age. We don't realize that that's what we're doing. Even in the playground, on the swings, mentoring starts. Okay. Children emulate themselves. Even at nursery levels, you know, children like each other, they look up to each other. So mentoring starts right from the beginning.
We're going to talk about a very special area of mentoring, mother and child mentoring, and women, the girl-child mentoring in society. Now we're looking at the girls in our society. Like, I can give an example like you. What's the encounter you've had with younger girls? Have you had any that look up to you and like you groom them and they're good? They're like, I want to be like you. I want to get ideas. What can we just hear from you, your own experience first?
Yes. As I said, mentoring starts at any time. You have something to offer. And the desire to be mentored also starts at the time, any time. A time when you're hungry. If you look at somebody, if you like their attitude to things, if you like the way they dress or the way they cook or the way they speak or behave or act, and you desire, aspire, and you like those good things in them, then that is when the desire starts. Also, people can hunger for wrong things in people, right. And you can also mentor people wrongly. So the divide, therefore, is doing the right thing at the right time, all of the time. And then you mentor people in the right way. I come across a lot of young ladies, and I'm really overwhelmed by it. Secondary school children. My last child is going to be 20. My last girl is going to be 20.
And you look really young, very young. You don't look it at all.
And she has friends her age, and they ask questions of what I'm doing, and I advise them. Right now, a group of them, my daughter, my son, who is 21, they're colleagues in school who range, whose age ranges between 16 to 18. Last year started an NGO.
Oh
yes,
so nice.
And they've registered it, and every year during the summer holidays they've decided that they're going to raise money, and they're going to put that money into the lives of people, their age downwards, and to assist in whatever way they can, whether it's people to go to school or to have a medical attention, or so. And I am really very impressed that nobody asked them to do it. But it's something.
They saw you
I mean, I wouldn't want to say that it's just me. I mean, their parents are also my friends, and but they've been around me all their lives. These are 18-year-olds that my children met in kindergarten, and they've stayed friends, and so they've grown up around themselves, and they've grown up around me, and exactly, and so they've picked up on that, and so this is wonderful, and that's why I say it can start at any age. I meet young ladies at the airport that come up to me and say, "Oh, I like what you're doing on television. I want to do what you're doing." And then I explain to them, well, anybody can do what I'm doing. You just have to have the passion, the desire, the determination. It's not easy to do. There is a lot of sacrifice that comes with what
and if they're ready
with what I'm doing.
Such sacrifice, they can be like you, and even better.
Well, I hope that anybody that wants to do what I'm doing, that they will do better than me. I wouldn't want them to do as well as me and then just stop there. Then there is no growth, there is no advancement. I would like a situation where anybody who is doing anything, not just what I'm doing, anybody who chooses to make a difference or just to live their life, I would want to think that what we all aspire to do is to do better than the person that is with you. Yes.
Right. We're talking about mentoring now. Politically, there's something that happens in the political terrain when the men will give the younger men a chance. Some of them even go as far as sponsoring them. Some of them even go as far as saying, "Tell me what you want to be, I'll be there for you." And you see there's so much harmony and they won't have any trouble. But women, when they do that, do you think it all goes very well? Because I don't know.
People say that women are their own worst enemies. Well, I accept that up to a point, and then I don't accept that. I say this because it's a silent conspiracy against women. It's a silent conspiracy to encourage women to be their own worst enemies. Women are different from men. I'm not just saying physically. I'm saying psychologically. We're different from men. Women are very emotional. That's right. Women are very sensitive. Right. Women feel emotional pain and betrayal in terms of relationship more than men do. Sure. And I say it's a silent conspiracy because that is always the inroad into women being perceived as their own worst enemies. Women are used to by men to betray other women. You can see two women who are very close, very close, and you will find out most of the time when there is a disagreement, you will find a man in the middle of that disagreement. So from a very young age, in our type of society, women are used by men to betray other women, and then women build up a resistance to that. And what then happens is that women are seen as not loving themselves, as not liking themselves, as not wanting to support other women to get on. And that is true in a way, because whatever area women want to participate in, whether it is in politics, whether it is in marriage, whether it is in the boardroom, in banking, in medical sphere, in any area. Women are actually going in first to compete with men.
We'll take a break. When we get back, you tell us the dangers of not being a good role model to our children. Because I know it all starts from the home. Whatever we give to our children, that's what they will be in the society. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Women who have been given the opportunity to lead. If you're leading as a woman and you're going alone, you're a bad leader.
Yes.
You must lead
carry others
and
along.
carry others along. No leader can go without looking back and seeing followers. So women must develop other women, upcoming women.
Government should please use the National Orientation Agency maybe to build an institution where young ladies, after maybe browsing the internet and all, you can just walk straight to that venue, that place, and you see a mentor, a mother, a mommy, somebody that you can tell your what you desire. I'm looking at a great Nigeria, a Nigeria that I can. You see me when I came in, when they gave me the flag, I put it on my head. It's for a purpose. I'm a Nigerian. I'm proud to say I'm a Nigerian woman. I want to be the president of this nation. How do I go about it?
Nigeria can only move forward if the men, if our leaders realize that they cannot do it alone. We are partners in progress. We will work together, genuinely work together, not using us as dumping grounds, not suppressing women.
Welcome back. We're still talking about mentoring. How do we mentor our children, our sisters, our family members, and especially the girl child in the society? Our guest Annkio is still here with us, and she's going to tell us more. How we know in the stage that yes, things had fallen apart. How can we revive our culture and get our society back to the right way it should be? Because that's what we need now. That's what we really need now.
Well, fortunately, there are people in all societies. There are people who keep records, that is, there are historians. And in all society, there are people, by God's grace, who will always remember, who can recall, who can tell you what it was like when things were done properly. Now, we need to very quickly, as human beings, as Nigerians, as people from the different regions and our different ethnic groups, we must very quickly go back to the sort of culture that we had, that does not pull us back, but actually enhances us in today. That is to say that you can't give what you don't have. And we have certain things that we can give by remembering what it used to be like, or by going back into history and enforcing those type of attitudes by bringing up our children in the right way. The Bible says that if you raise a child the way it should be raised, that it will not deviate too much from, and even if it does, you will see that you always come back to what you know, even if you derail, because we're all human beings. But it is the responsibility, I believe, primarily of a parent to do whatever you can to make sure that your child turns out in society to be someone who is contributing positively into that society. For instance, I was raised, personally now, I was raised to be respectful. I was raised to be fearless. I was raised to speak the truth, not to be afraid of telling the truth. The reason why people find it difficult to tell the truth is that they are afraid of telling the truth.
The fear comes before what they say.
And you need to be afraid of telling lies. True. Instead of telling telling the truth.
You should be afraid of telling lies and not
instead of
telling
telling the truth. Right. And so I I try to raise my children in that part, because like I said, you can't give what you, as Americans we say, you can't give what you don't got.
have.
You know, so you can't. I can't give you a glass of water if I don't have it.
That's
You know, so we need to very quickly realize that what tomorrow becomes is really, people say the youth, tomorrow belongs to the youth. Tomorrow, yes, it is true up to a point. But if that tomorrow, if you have destroyed you and I, if we have destroyed that tomorrow, what is it that we're giving to the youth? And we destroy the tomorrow when we don't raise the youths well today. Then they don't have a tomorrow that they're going to.
Back then, in those days, we have some senior, we call them senior girls. They were asking, sometimes some of them will be like a teacher, and you look at her every day. She comes out, she's neat, there's a way she walks and all of that. And when you get to her, you say, I like you, or I like her, or you don't even tell her. But whenever she calls you, you run errands for her. You can even come and fetch water for her because you respect her, and you're telling yourself, I want to be like this auntie. And you're working hard within you.
Absolutely.
But now, they're being antagonistic to the person. They look at you and say, to hell with you. If it's a husband or a marriage you have, I'm going to get married. So, and they even say to you, they I don't know, the values are just drifting off.
You've said exactly what I've been saying. Our value system, we don't have any anymore, and there is orientation is totally not there in this country. There is no orientation. I must add, though, that basically it's all over the world, and I think it has a lot to do with development. It has,
really?
Oh yes, it has a lot to do with development. I think that because we are fighting so hard, struggling so hard, moving so fast, that we drop certain. It's like if you're carrying a basket of a basket full of something, and it's full to the brim, and you're running, you're going to, some are going to fall off the basket. As a little girl, I remember that we used to go and fetch water either in the stream, at the stream, or you fetch from the well, and there is always a race somehow to catch up with the ones that have fetched and have gone forward, or to keep pace with your
others,
mates. And you will find that if you rush with a pail of water on your head, you will lose some of that water.
Right, it's true.
And that's what's happened.
That's what happens to parents now. We have too much in our hands.
Yes. So, but that doesn't mean we need to constantly remind ourselves as we develop that we cannot leave behind the values. Because if we leave behind our values, we don't actually enjoy the development anymore.
Again, most of the NGOs we have are owned by mostly women. And none of those NGOs or these organizations, be it government or non-governmental, that has taken out time probably for women to go to the rural areas or go to people and teach them. We call it etiquette now, but then it was manners and culture. And teach them the values, the culture, the manners, things that needs to be done, how a child should be, what a girl should say or do, and how they should behave. And, when you see a woman who's made it coming to talk to you as a younger person, you tend to listen. But today, we don't have women who care about the other generation. What do you really have to say about that?
Well, that is true. I mean, that is true in the sense that we must again go back and pick up the responsibility. We have to give back to society, and the best way of doing it is getting involved from the grassroots level. I mean, the person who said charity begins at home knew what they were saying. Charity does begin at home, and that's why when sometimes people say, you know, to me about the activities that I do, and I said, look, I am from the Niger Delta, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm from the southern part of Nigeria.
You saw the crisis in the creek, everything.
And I am from the Ijaw ethnic group. If I am going out to help somebody and I have not helped my people, I would look ridiculous. And that's why you have to start right from your own door, from your own doorstep. There was a young lady that that I ran into sometime in Abuja in a hotel, and I mean, she said, oh my gosh, you know, I don't believe I'm actually seeing you. And I said, she said, oh, I just want to understand I just love what you're doing. And you know, in the past few months or so, she's tried to and I can see the desire.
Yeah.
Now, she's not even from my ethnic group, but if I'm able to actually help her to grasp something, and she's able to use that something in her own community, in her own ethnic group, then I have achieved something.
Oh,
yes.
That's so nice. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. We just want you to give a message to our mothers, what they should do, so that we can mentor our children to live the right way.
Well, I mean, as a mother, I can only speak as a mother. As a mother, I will cringe the way my father would have cringed, my mother would have cringed, if I had done something that they would be ashamed of. And every mother should be able to let her children know. It doesn't matter whether it's a girl child or a male child. I have 3 daughters and a son. My children range between the ages of 36 and 20. You know, and every day prayer is very important. We must pray for our children constantly, more so now, because the type of things the children are exposed to, we were never exposed to those things. Our children today are exposed to horrible situations and circumstances. Men old enough to be their fathers are going after them, enticing them with things that girls should not really be enticed with. If you're carrying a Louis Vuitton bag at 18, when you're 28, what are you going to carry?
What would you have?
What do you carry? You know, so these are the things we owe mothers, or ourselves, the responsibility, and our children, in effect their children, any generation that comes through you, you have to be able to know that 2-3 generations ahead, that they will be okay, they will be better than what you have got. That is the way that we should raise our children. We should raise our children to be proud. We should raise our children to be good. There is nothing wrong in being good. We should raise our children to be good citizens, to be God-fearing people. You have to fear God. If you don't fear God, I don't know what you want to fear. You know, people, you must fear God. I don't fear human beings. I was raised not to be afraid of a human being
just be afraid
that
of
is
God.
walking on 2 legs.
Thank
but
you.
I must fear God.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. She just said it all. Let's raise our children to fear God. When they fear God, they will learn to respect. They will learn to behave when they go out into society. And all of these values that we're talking about is because it has a religious background. So when you fear God, you will do them better. And mothers, they're still calling us. We have to do more. And I know we are going to do more after today. From me, Amaka, and the crew, we want to say thank you and bye for now.